On January 10th, it was announced that Bungie and Activision were splitting up, with Bungie retaining the Destiny IP. Bungie will now publish and develop Destiny as their relationship with Activision comes to an end. For those playing on PC, Destiny 2 will remain on Battle.net and gameplay should not be interrupted at all, and the current release schedule does not appear to be impacted as a result of this news. This is really big news, but as for it being good or bad, that's not something I'm knowledgeable enough about to really discuss. If anything, it seems kind of neutral to me. We don't know why this split happened, if Bungie wanted to seize control of Destiny, or maybe Activision wanted to drop them for whatever reasons. I don't know the ins and outs of game development and publishing, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Right now, I'm going to go on the side of slightly good news, because, quote, employees cheered and popped champagne, according to one person who was there, says Jason Schreier of Kotaku, and Jason has been right on many Destiny-related things in the past. I imagine being relinquished from the control of Activision would cause some level of celebration. The relationship between Activision and Bungie has not been super great, according to many articles released over the past few years, since the beginning of Destiny's launch. I imagine Bungie's schedule of needing a big release every year on top of continuous content updates was a strain on that relationship. Even very recently, Activision came out and said Forsaken did not meet sales expectations, despite the fact that Destiny was the top grossing game on consoles in September 2018, according to Super Data Research, with millions of players being active for the first couple of weeks. However, I am not going to sit here and pretend, just because Bungie has parted ways with Activision, that Destiny is now all of a sudden going to blossom into the beautiful flower that it was always meant to be. Could it? Sure. But Activision definitely was not the main cause of all of Destiny's problems. Yes, they maybe could have gotten more involved than Bungie liked here and there, but there have been plenty of design decisions made that don't really feel like Activision had their hand in them. I've heard Bungie management, again, through articles, I can't confirm any of this obviously, tended to be the issue. The Eververse store, another example, was Bungie's idea, not Activision's. I'm guessing Activision doesn't really get involved with sandbox design or gameplay design or anything like that. So yes, while any Activision-based restrictions have been lifted, Bungie still has their work cut out for them. Plus, now there's no more scapegoat. Activision gets blamed a lot for things, despite probably not all of those things being their fault. In fact, probably a minority of those problems were their fault. It's just easier to say, Activision messed up the game because microtransactions and money and meh, than it is to get to just the root of the issues. It's all Bungie now, as far as we know. Design decisions, microtransactions, whatever may happen or whatever may go wrong is 100% on Bungie now. How is this game going to be monetized? Destiny costs a lot of money to make, and without Activision's assistance or guidance or whatever, who knows, we might even see more microtransactions. There's over 1,000 people working on this game. You gotta pay them somehow. Again, to clarify, I do not know how any of this works. I am nowhere near qualified to be making even guesses about how these finances work. I see a lot of people advocating for the removal of the Eververse store, and honestly, I don't think that's one of the biggest problems the game has right now, although I would love to see less Eververse filler ships and sparrows and maybe see more of those actually put into the game via gameplay. Would a subscription fee eventually see its way to Destiny? I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but I don't think the game is currently in a state where people would be willing to support a subscription-based service, even though the annual pass is more or less a subscription to the game. It's $30 a year, or $35, whatever it is. Alright, Datto, enough doom and gloom. Any good news from this? Well, with this split, there is the potential situation of PlayStation no longer getting exclusive content, and everyone will be equal, which I'm sure pleases many Xbox and PC fans. Again, that is purely speculation. Activision had a deal with Sony to have exclusive content. Bungie and Activision are split, therefore don't have to abide by those stipulations. Means maybe no more exclusives. Who knows? Also, with Bungie being in full control, this could be some good news for those hoping for some level of cross-save or cross-play. Sony, in general, seems to be the issue with cross-play or cross-save capabilities across all games, not just Destiny, but who knows? Maybe part of the issue of why cross-save couldn't have been a thing was because of said exclusive content on PlayStation only, for whatever those reasons might have been. I imagine cross-save or cross-play is still incredibly far out, and Bungie has never mentioned anything about cross-save or play being a thing in Destiny. But who knows, maybe behind the scenes things are improving. That's total speculation. Another good piece of news is obviously that Bungie won't need to adhere to what Activision may want the game to be, which may allow them to get more creative, not that the game hasn't been creative thus far, and it allows them to get off of that rigorous content production schedule should they so choose. Again, speculation. One question that I got a lot when asked about this news is, do you think Bungie should stick with Destiny 2 and keep making expansions, or make a Destiny 3? Or will they stick with Destiny 2, or whatever? My answer is, I think Bungie should do whatever will make the best experience for the game. The ideal for me would be to ensure that anything that people find important in Destiny 2 carried over to Destiny 3 across any platform. Triumph scores, emblems, cosmetics, whatever, things like that, if a Destiny 3 were to happen. And then have Destiny 3 be the final game, and then just update that game with expansions. Getting to a point where the game is just Destiny and continuously expanded upon should be a goal, I think. However, an example I give of it being a good idea to make a Destiny 3 are the subclass branches. If we stay in Destiny 2, I don't think we see subclass trees get retooled at all. We will likely be stuck with that system while we are in Destiny 2, and I don't know about you guys, but I would really like to see subclass trees be more than what they are right now. As for how this pertains to Activision, I think it's 50-50 on whether we see a Destiny 3 or not. A big new number on a box is an enticing thing to a customer who is looking for a fresh start, but I'm not sure if Bungie has the capability of bringing back people into the franchise who got burned not once, but twice. All in all, it's now time for Bungie to put their money where their mouth is. Now we will truly see who gets the blame and who gets the praise for how the rest of Destiny will turn out. Again, I'm mainly neutral on this because while it's very liberating for Bungie, it's also incredibly intimidating because they need to handle it all now. We will likely start to see the results of this split, I would say sometime in late 2019, considering that Bungie is staying on track with their current timeline of releases. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.